Hello everyone, welcome to HDG Reviews where it's all about the game and the points don't matter. Also, in HDG Reviews, I like to keep things short and sweet and simple, so if there are any questions, do feel free to comment in the comment sections. So today, we've got Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Well, for a start, I'm gonna say thank you, Atlus. Thank you, seriously. 1 for making this game possible, and 2 for taking over the reign of development of the game. Now for the summary, this is a rhythm game where Persona 4 characters dances to many overpowered, over-musical songs that are practically, well, you'd be okay listening to them 100 times on a loop, especially so if you are a Persona fan, and not to mention in 3D animation. Well, next to top it up, this is a rhythm game with a fully voiced story mode, something that rarely happens. Well, that's basically the summary of the game, so here we go to the review of the game. Let's start with the good or the great parts: animation and presentation. Opening, love it. Songs, I love it. But what makes it so different from every other rhythm game out there, aside from the fact that it's something Persona? First of all, 3D animations and dance choreography. Whoever animated this deserves a good pat on the back. There are so many kind of dances from the different characters that you will probably, or rather definitely, fall in love with. All the dances were tailor-made to suit the character to each song. My personal favorite being Naoto and Margaret. And of course there's Nanako. Everyday young life, Junesu. Okay, the step looks good. The way they move were fluid and to the beat. I more or less had little to no complaints in this department. But hey, okay, let's keep going with the good stuffs. Second difference between Persona 4 Dance and other rhythm games, the length of the songs. Nearly every single song you get, be it remix or not, is around 3 minutes long. I'm not a big fan of rhythm games to begin with, but even I could tell the difference between DJ Max and Project Diva, which means over here, we get fully length, fully voiced, amazing songs that came from Persona 4 soundtrack. I get tired out sometimes mid-song and lose concentration, yes, but that's something I rarely get to experience in a rhythm game, and I think it's a great thing for the songs to come in such length in a home version of a rhythm game. Next up, story mode. It's rare, it's Persona, and it's a fully voiced 10 hours length story if you listen to everything like I did. Because I love the good work voice actors does in the games. It's truly appreciated to be able to hear Yukiko's gags, Chie's squeal, and Kuma's kuma, amongst other things. Really, this is a rhythm game, and I get a fully voiced visual novel kind of thing that we all get in Persona series. How fun is that? Now we are done with why P4D is different from every other rhythm games. Let's move on with the costumes. Project Diva had Miku and company done a ton of costumes that were pretty amazing to boot back in the day of the PSP. I really like those costumes and they look great. And the arcade version of Project Diva looks amazing. So what did we get here in Persona 4 Dancing? Naoto and Rise in their Persona 4 golden costumes. Female clothes during the high school event for the male characters. Nanako in winter clothes. Okay, point taken though, I hope, because amazing costumes as fan service for the fans. But if you're not into the costumes in a rhythm game, fret not. Here comes one of the best things I've experienced to date: replayability. From what I personally know, rhythm games were made to cater to players of all skills and background. And be it whether you're a pro or a scrub in such a game, you're gonna enjoy this game thanks to its execution in making you feel that you are good. Now here's the trick. There are no bad notes. You either miss or you're good. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Of course, for hardcore players, a good is as good as a bad. But since that's essentially what it really means, if you don't think much about it, you're still gonna go feel good about yourself. Secondly, aside from notes, items can be equipped as with most rhythm games these days, just that this time it's all related to Persona items, like the all-seeing ball that allows you to have a much easier time in clearing hard mode songs to unlock more partners. These items can be bought slowly and steadily by fulfilling requirements and grinding money in the game to get them, adding to the replay value in terms of unlocks. And that is once again something Atlus did right. Just getting points and unlocking all the items which are of unlimited use took me a good few hours, coupled with the fact that I ain't that well versed in a rhythm game. Thirdly, something fairly important also, you unlock different partners for every dance. Yes, by clearing every single difficulty once, at least for normal to hard. And what is so rewarding about it, in case of just partners dancing, I mean it's different partners for a short moment in every single dance. But did you know every single partner dance moves are different for every single song, coupled with every different character? Just like this Kuma in Ellie's costume, which I happened to find out of nowhere while unlocking the songs. The criteria for this is that he only appears in Like a Dream Come True, and only when you use Yosuke as his partner for this particular song. There is much more cooler dance moves for you to find out and watch as you unlock every different Fever partners, so that replayability now is a +10. Not that points matter here. So now what took the cake for me in terms of replayability, however, was not just the grinding or unlocks. As this is a rhythm game after all, it simply added good stuffs to it. What won me over, however, was the fact that Atlus did something really Atlus-like. That is allowing us to first unlock hard mode, which was fun on its own. But next up, after completing a few hard mode songs and unlocking more items, we got ourselves All Night mode. Like, woo! I played Atlus games for years, and I always come back to the point where I love it when they take things to the next level. SMT had me dying right off the bat, Persona had me dying figuring out secret boss battles, dancing all night. What about All Night mode, where the notes go crazy from your usual buttons to unison notes that, well, not so unison. I mean, just look at all this. It makes me laugh at my inability to clear it, to be honest. I can not clear one without the use of items. Now by the end of all this, all I can say is, I love you Atlus, and I think you did a great job creating Persona 4 Dancing as the first game of All Dancing All Night. I hope more comes later on, especially the one that you say if this game goes well, you're gonna do a Persona 3 version, because seeing, well, Aegis dance, that's gonna be cute. Okay, but I'm here to review the game, so it's not just about the good stuffs. I'm also here to talk about the bad stuffs, no matter how minor it is. First, let's start off with the personas. I understand that development plans might have changed when Atlus took over production due to quality concerns, but I really had wished that the personas themselves got a gig out of Reach Out of the Truth, the ones that they were all playing at the end of every song, instead of just jizzing off the solos at the end of everything. Personas were simply there for, well, a really minor role, I guess. Even though they really tried to fit that nicely into the story, I feel that more could have been done. Second thing I took note of was the inability to actually have different characters performed in the same song. I am asking too much here, because the development cost to do such a thing in order to choreograph every character, dance style, and different steps into every single song would have been much too great. But that would have been something that have been nice, or rather much crazier for the game to have. Honestly, I mean, I would put Naoto and Yukiko or Rise into every single song just to see how they dance to every different song, and not just as partners. The potential for this is limitless, but it's also a shit ton of great, amazing work that has already been done in such a short moment. So I guess I can't really complain. Now, third thing I took issue with was actually the fact where there were so much amazing DLCs. Now there were the not so amazing DLCs. That's the bad part. Really, Atlus, asking me to download songs with no dancers, but instead other Persona games, the options we get really make I mean, the no dancers, but instead animated clips. Alright, was just, well, disappointing. I have liked the option to see the entire crew dance to Nevermore, so I could probably cry my heart out. But all you gave me was an animated credit slip, which I already seen multiple times. Well, for the last thing, I had a much less problem with, but still a minor problem, was the fact where the story felt a little lackluster this time. Unlike the usual progressive story we get in each and every other Persona games, the options we get now rarely makes a difference, and I suppose it felt forced, I guess, into the game. The game's theme is dancing all night after all, so I guess it's quite difficult to do. Well, it kind of felt like the Persona 4 Arena storyline, and such, I guess, short, simple, straight cut without much amazing plot twist like the original. Regardless, it wasn't that bad, just not good enough for my taste, I guess. So the last thing probably is just personal opinion rather than a negative point in game. Well, overall, however, I love the game to bits and played a good many hours with the little time I have. I know there's like even community involvement for Atlus by introducing online score attack mode where all the players can win DLCs in the upcoming date and other special prizes by hitting top scores in the game. I really appreciate moves like that by companies, so that it encourages me to continue to play the game with the introduction of Mari and Adachi later. I totally want to see a dancing murderer in the game, I guess. Well, Atlus, good job. I love you, and I look forward to seeing Persona 5 later in the year. For the people looking towards the question of, is the game worth it or should I buy the game? My answer to you is, if you are a fan of the Persona 4 series, Persona 4 mind you, and don't mind spending some money to support Atlus, go grab it. You will have a ton of fun and entertainment for a good many hours. And as for the people who are not fans but are instead rhythm game junkies, get it as well. All Night mode should be able to blow you away as you try to aim for the perfects in those. Added items will even allow you to play the game without looking at the notes if you are hardcore enough, like Project Diva. Someone has already done it for score attack mode. He is the top scorer in everything, and more guys who would want to challenge themselves should probably be able to do it too. So get the game if you are convinced, and if you are not, you probably can give this a skip by now, even though Nanako is so cute. Well, that's all for today for Persona 4 Dancing All Night review. I hope the review helps. How the game, signing off.